Oh, God. Oh, hey guys, this is Jeeves, your host, and welcome to another episode of, yeah, okay, I got nothing. Yeah, okay, to tell you the truth, I really didn't have an episode planned today. I've been trying to do it, but, you see, the last time I reviewed something, someone died. Okay, so, that can put sort of a negative impact on your sense of motivation. I don't know, in the meantime, I've just been kicking back, or drawing, writing some other projects, and, watching some entertainment? Yeah, I can probably guess what you're thinking. What is this weird computer animation shit? Is Jeeves just high, or is he going insane? This, ladies and gentlemen, is called The Mind's Eye, and it's actually one in a whole series of films, and they're all pretty interesting. In fact, you know what? Why don't we talk about them? Yeah, let's do it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Jeeves, your host, and welcome to another episode of Drawn to Obscurity. The Mind's Eye series is a collection of art films that were made from the year 1990 to 1996 and was originally created by filmmaker Jan Nickman and Odyssey Productions, known at the time as Odyssey Visual Design. The series focused exclusively on computer animation, as it was made to showcase what the art form could achieve in a time where it was seen as more of a novelty than a practical form of animation, which, when you look at a lot of 3D animations back then, is pretty understandable. If it was before Toy Story, chances are it either looked mediocre, laughably bad, or just plain terrifying. Bottom line, as with many art forms, computer animation needed time to prove itself, both artistically and practically, and that's exactly what the Mind's Eye series set out to do. I'll just say it right away, I think the series is great. Each installment provides this continuous string of what were groundbreaking visuals combined with a fantastic soundtrack, all wrapped up into these imaginative, eye-catching experiences. What were these experiences? Honestly, I have no freaking clue. One moment, you could just be looking at a fish swimming through water, then the next moment, robot dinosaurs. One moment, some metallic people playing some sweet jazz, the next moment, the stuff of your nightmares. You see, there really is no narrative to any of the Mind's Eye films. There are these short films that carry their own tiny stories and bits from other movies, but as a whole, the Mind's Eye films are essentially a series of music videos, made for the sole purpose of showcasing what computer animation was capable of. Now for some, the lack of any narrative or plot may not seem terribly entertaining, and I can completely understand why. Obviously, if there isn't any kind of story to follow, then it can easily feel like you're just wasting your time. But taking the films for what they are, I find them to be rather enjoyable. Plus, being a person who generally loves animation, I just have a massive appreciation for the visuals, and all the effort that went into making them. I mean, look at this scene. Can you tell me what's going on? No, but just looking at it gives me this sense of wonder. Though it could really be that I'm just a sucker for the old school visuals. Maybe it's a nostalgia thing, maybe it's the aesthetics, but I do enjoy looking at them. Yeah, except for that. Actually, despite the fact that it doesn't look the best, the Mind's Eye series was extremely popular with its first installment in 1990, getting a recommendation on Siskel and Ebert and even reaching high on the Billboard charts. This prompted 3 sequels, which, quite frankly, are all pretty similar to each other. The only notable change was, as expected, the quality of the animation, which only got better with each installment, as did a majority of the content. My personal favorite is the third film, The Gate to the Mind's Eye. I think it was at this point that the creators stopped treating the series as a bunch of demo reels and more as an actual piece of entertainment, with a surprising amount of its animations feeling more self-contained rather than one giant montage, and the film even having its own backstory.
Alloy is given the glimpse of the future, and the only way for this madness to end is to collapse the universe and to begin again. Witness the waking, the rebirth, and the future. Now here's a bunch of random clips and stuff.
The final film in the series, Odyssey into the Mind's Eye, is a bit disappointing, with many of its animations being a bit bland in a creative sense, and the music direction being drastically different. Whereas the previous films have had various types of music from electronic to dance and jazz, this one focuses heavily on a rock and roll sound. I personally don't mind it that much, but the one guy who reviewed it on IMDb is pretty fucking hurt about it. After Odyssey, the Mind's Eye series spun off into several different projects, only one of which I could find anything about. Virtual Nature, and the rest of the title. This one surprised me a bit because unlike the other films, it actually has an overall theme, the theme being the different subjects of nature. What was even more surprising was a scene that heavily used live-action elements, which had been used before, but never to this extent. Other than that, it's about the exact same as the Mind's Eye films. Hell, they even use a lot of footage from the first two. The spin-offs would continue for some time until the year 2000, when eventually the Mind's Eye series and its spin-offs would begin fading into obscurity, and its creators would, slowly but surely, follow in their footsteps. After their spin-offs and various other projects, it seems that Odyssey Productions went to a screeching halt in 2004. Since then, they've gone through 2 name changes, one of which was Animation Trip, whose website is still up, by the way, in all of its outdated glory. And they've also switched to an extremely different business direction, focusing primarily on photography now. Which, on one end, is a shame because I would like to see another Mind's Eye film showcasing today's computer animators, but on the other end, it was kind of an inevitability. When you really look at it, a big reason why these films were so popular to begin with was because they were novelties. I mean, yeah, they were visually impressive, entertaining, and for the most part still managed to hold up pretty well, but they were novelties. Something new, weird, artsy, and out of the ordinary that entrances you. For a good amount of time, until you eventually lose interest and maybe come back to it after a while. With that in mind, it's really no wonder why Odyssey stopped making these kinds of films altogether. Eventually, 3D animated movies and TV shows would rise up and assume popularity, leaving the artsy films like these in their shadows, and understandably so. Regardless, I enjoyed watching this series of compilations. They're creative, entertaining, and if you have an interest in computer animation, or just nostalgic for the visuals, then I'd say it's worth checking out. And there you have it, the Mind's Eye series. A very weird yet very interesting experience. If this seems like something you'd be interested in, then I would also recommend checking out the Adult Swim series, Off the Air. Like the Mind's Eye, it seamlessly ties together a variety of different music videos, animations, and short films from several different people, but they all follow a certain theme of the episode, and they're only 11 minutes long, so if the Mind's Eye drags on too long for you, this show might be right up your alley. And you can easily find them all on YouTube. And that's all for this episode, guys. Tune in next time for more Obscurity. This is Jeeves, your host, signing out. Hello.